Good evening, everyone. I hope you're all doing great. Tonight's going to be a humdinger. So please, I want you to like this live stream, share it with your friends and family afterwards. And if you come in later, watch it again. Watch it from the start. We are getting down to serious business again. I hope you can all hear me fine. Just confirm that you can all hear me okay. And then we'll get started. So just over 3 years ago, when I started the channel Double O Des from Desmond Bernardo, where I spoke about issues within Eskom, explaining how the power grid works, explaining how coal-fired power station works, explaining how renewable energy on the grid is creating problems with the coal-fired power stations. I felt the need when the COVID-19 pandemic was declared and our government started taking action based on unelected bodies, namely the World Health Organization. I had to speak out. I had to say what I knew. And I'm not going to go into the details of that now. I just want to lay the foundation of why this channel exists. I've spent 8 years in counter-terrorism intelligence. I've worked at Koeberg Nuclear Power Station since 1992, where I obtained a license to run the nuclear reactors. I was a senior shift supervisor there. Later, I became an engineering consultant and later a project manager, a position I hold to this very day. And in the nuclear industry, there's quite a few things that our country and the world can learn from the nuclear industry worldwide. And I'm not going to get into the details of that now. In the various workshops that Lauren and I do, we speak about those things. We transfer those skills to you. So you can go and do those workshops if you want to at the highest membership level on this channel. All 14 of them are available for you to go and do there. Why do I tell you all this? This is not normal for me. Most of the people in the nuclear industry, my peers, are not on social media. They don't even bother with social media. So why would I risk everything I have to speak to you, to warn you, to tell you about a plan that started in the 1770s? And yes, many of you will say, but there were plans long before then. Those are not relevant to what is happening right now. The plan that was developed in the 1770s by Adam Weishaupt, the founder of the Bavarian Illuminati, is the plan being implemented right now. That plan has not changed. It is clear that it hasn't changed. And I will tell you very briefly that roadmap to this new world order through a one world government. And you need to understand what is going to get us there. In other words, the Bavarian Illuminati plans, even although they were banned, when they were banned, their members scattered all over the world and took the ideology with them. The greater good ideology and the highest intelligence is always in charge, should always tell the lower intelligence what to do. There shouldn't be freedom of choice. The highest intelligence should be God, should be what you worship. So instead of having many religions across the world, which is a saving grace, even although religions are all man-made, creating a one world religion, worshipping the highest intelligence entity is the end goal. And we'll get into the detail of that just now, because I'm going to give you pointers of how to navigate this, how to look out for people that are fans of this, the fan base of this new world order being created and this one world government. And you'll be shocked to hear who those fans might be. People you might hold in high esteem, in high regard. And you're going to have to make a decision. What side of history will you be on? That's going to be a simple decision to make for you, because the lines are very clear at the moment. Okay, they are not blurred. They used to be blurred, deliberately blurred, but now it's open season. Open AI, Open AGI, and ChatGPT-4 has achieved AGI already. So just for you to understand what this means, the world elites are saying that an entity is being created that's more intelligent than human beings. Therefore, we need to follow that entity. We need to worship that entity. And we are doing so already. So every person using this godlike infrastructure that was created around the artificial intelligence program, algorithms, etc. You are part of that system and that plan. Now, you might be using OpenAI's ChatGPT-4 and all the other models for various business purposes, etc. But you are part of the people creating that pyramid to the top. And we need to turn that pyramid on its head. This is super important. I'll get to that just now. So, where does this plan come from? Simply, Adam Weishaupt wrote down the plan. In other words, it was written down on paper. It's still in the museum, so you can look at it. In my Moments in Time and Question Everything series of videos, especially the Moments in Time, I go through those pictures. You can see them with your own eyes. So you can go to those playlists if you have not yet and go and watch them. People, please like this live stream so more people can see it, so the algorithm shows it to more people. There's just a fact that I've mentioned. New World Order is going to give me a banner and a warning underneath this video. So, Adam Weishaupt wanted a better world. He said the world that we live in is pathetic, it's filthy, and it was. The church was running Bavaria, where he lived, in Ingolstadt. The Catholic Church. They were in charge, literally telling the government what to do. Yes, there was a government, but they listened to the Catholic Church. He didn't like this. He was an Ashkenaz Jew, the same as Amschel Rothschild, who was also someone that he knew after he joined the Masonic fraternity. Now, they wanted to go above and beyond the Masonic fraternity, improve on it, give people more enlightenment, and it was a con act. It was just a con act. So they tried to create a separate lodge system where they would create a brotherhood, where they're supposed to have these wonderful secrets, which they had none of. But Adam Weishaupt had this plan to, over centuries, subvert the world to a point where he believed that eternal life will be achieved. And this is super important to understand. That's what this is about. A carrot that was dangled in front of him, saying that we could achieve eternal life as humans. In other words, not die. And that was like the Holy Grail, not being able to die. They wanted this. And all the people that are building artificial intelligence now will tell you that this is our God. This is immortalizing us, becoming immortals through AI technology, where you can now transfer all of your intellect to a computer and you can live on forever. Your plans, your mind, and everything else. Now, the people that are a fan club or a fan base for this, and you'll be shocked to see who they are. You just need to ask the right questions. The questions that most of the media won't ask people. Then you will find out who supports this. Because to implement this, you need to get rid of certain things. To implement this world where there's a one world religion and a one world government, where one highest intelligence is worshipped by everybody. And it doesn't mean on your knees with your hands together. We're already worshipping the financial system as is. To achieve that, you need to remove governments. Governments need to cease to exist. Borders need to cease to exist. So no more countries, no more governments. To break that down, you need to break down the family unit. Families need to cease to exist as an entity with power and with something that has stature in society. Society needs to be broken down into its simplest forms, single human beings. The single human being should have no identity, none. You should not identify as tall, short, fat, long, male, female, nothing. You are just this cellular entity. That is what you need to be for them to create this new order. And all it is a bunch of rich, powerful people that can control humanity. Because it's us humans they fear the most. They fear humanity and what humanity means. And we'll get just now to the pointers, because the pointers are all about humanity, strengthening your humanity, believing in your humanity, and making it stronger. Because this is what they fear the most. And when I say they, I discuss the they in detail in my Moments in Time series and Question Everything series of videos. Once again, on a playlist on this channel, you can go to the playlist section, find them, and watch them all. This is not rocket science to find. It's easy. So, the roadmap to this New World Order, One World Government needs all of those criteria. You need people to not want government. Does this sound familiar? How many groups that you have joined are fighting for government to cease to exist? There should be no borders. How many people want no borders, want to be able to travel freely? So there's no more countries, no more sovereignty, no more families. In other words, a family, male, female, getting married, whatever, need to cease to exist. Them having children and the children being related to them as their children, them being the parents, having uncles, aunts, grandparents, needs to cease to exist. You will just be an entity. This is super important to bring this New World Order into being. And a lot of people will say, but this is impossible. This will never happen. Watch the space. By 2030, if we do not act now in South Africa, you will not recognize this country. A lot of money is being spent by people many of you might worship, like the Rob Hersoffs of the world, to build infrastructure and build things that will take all your freedom away. And you need to ask yourself, who are you supporting? And I always say, look at the money. Who is funding who? Who is giving money to who and why? And you will get your answer. Look who the Oppenheimers fund. Look who people like Rob Hersoff fund. Look where the money comes from. And then you will understand. And I'm not going to speak about the 4 people that run this country or have control in this country over every resource and avenue of human control that you can possibly imagine. I'm not going to go into that detail now. You can go and watch my 00 Days meeting in the highest membership level. You can sign up for 1 month, go and watch all 3 meetings there, do all 14 workshops for the price of 1 membership. Just listen to the people that will follow this blindly. Listen to the people that will follow this blindly. Listen to what they say and believe them that they want this. As much as you cannot comprehend this, there are people in school right now being taught by teachers that believe this, that this is their future, that you as a human are of less value than animals and plants and many other things out there. That you as a human is a curse to this planet and should be removed. Just listen to what the powers of the world say at the open forums out there, like the World Economic Forum, like before and after the Bilderberg meetings, like before and after they meet at the Bohemian Grove for the burning of care. Listen to the people that are members of the Committee of 300, like Bill Gates, like Klaus Schwab, like the Pope. Listen to what they say. People like Tony Blair, Bill Clinton. Listen to them. They are committee members. King Charles, his son, the whole freaking British royal family, and most of the other royals around the world. Listen to what they say. They mean what they say. And Charles said, in no uncertain terms, before he was king, that COVID-19 is nothing. Nothing. Wait till you see what is coming next. And he said, with that, we'll be able to implement what is needed to save the planet. He said that plainly and simply. He had no qualms about it. And he believes in it. So, what do you need to know? All of these things that will be put in place, planned by them, how can we counter that in South Africa? Because in the rest of the world, many places are too far gone. There's too many brainwashed sheeple everywhere. And that's why I told you last night Do not convince the sheeple of anything. Let things happen to them. And if they're not part of the New World Order fan club, they will come to us in their droves and we will help them. I will help them. You can choose to help them. But they will come to us because they will have no other option but to say, I was wrong. I am sorry. Will you help me? And for you to be able to do that, you need to be self-reliant more than you can ever imagine right now. To keep stability in this country. What has been our saving grace up until now? And a lot of people are upset with me when I said that. It is our diversity. It's a fact that we are ragat. It's a fact that we are so divided. Is our saving grace. The fact that we have a useless government, the ANC, is our saving grace. Jacob Zuma refused to implement 5th generation technology, 5G. He refused to do it. That was a saving grace. He delayed it by 8 years based on the United Nations Agenda 2030 plans. A saving grace for the country. Many things that are saving grace. So, what should you look out for? What are the pointers? And I'm going to, in the first comment of this video afterwards, put a list of pointers that you can write down, that you can print, or whatever you want to do, and keep looking at those. Number 1, who do you identify as the enemy to your freedom and your livelihood in future? Any person that wants this new world order and this one world government, who are the people that are subverting us from remaining free, etc.? Anyone that supports the current government system and the current constitution is a subverter of our freedom and our liberties and our right to defend our own lives. Now, I sent out an email, for instance, to Dr. Frans Cronje for me to interview him on this channel. And I said in that email, I want to interview you on your thoughts of the viability of system change in South Africa. And that was bait being thrown out with a sinker. In every speech he's made since I've sent out that mail to him, he has been defending the system with everything he's got. In fact, he took a hook, line, and sinker in a speech that he gave in Hermanus for BizNews recently. And this was a complete setup. He actually said openly that everyone was saying he's too negative. Now everyone is saying he's too positive. The one thing he's doing now is defending our governance system with everything he's got. He's saying that what is happening now proves that it's working, that it can self-correct, that it can save the country. Does he believe the crap that he speaks? But this is a doctor that studied politics, that studied humans, human nature, and he speaks many truths. So many people fall for it. But he's defending the very system that has brought us here, the very constitution that has got the Trojan horses built in to create a one world government and a new world order. Because that's what happened during the COVID-19 pandemic in this country. A new order was created where people accepted their livelihoods being taken away for months. Can you believe it, that people sat at home and didn't make a living without the government giving them a cent? This is what people did. Those that started resisting later on, when they realized that this is not what they thought it was, started protesting. And what did they face? People whose taxes they pay brutally attacked them in the streets of Cape Town, in the Sea Point Promenade, in Pretoria, in KwaZulu-Natal, in the rural settlements. But the people of South Africa took it in their stride. Who of you can remember the young people singing Corona, Corona in the streets? That is South Africa. Now, you might say that that is juvenile, but these are things that saves our bacon. At the beginning of that whole mess, call it the pestilence, that might be safer, 70% of people said that they will take this. 70%. And with the information we put out, with a massive social media drive, it turned on its head to where South Africa was classified as a red list country. Because now 70% of the people, they are not doing this to themselves. They're not going to do it. So the government ordered gazillions of this and they had to send it to other countries. That is the people of South Africa. Do you think that happened anywhere else in the world? It makes us unique. Yes, there was one country that didn't have any lockdowns, and you can see the results of that. They are perfectly fine today. Our government ruined the economy, ruined your life, while they got 520 billion rand. Where did they spend that? Who made all that money? Do you know that during that 3-year period, that most billionaires doubled or tripled their billionaire status? Does that make sense? Something has to be wrong for that to be the case. It's because it is about power. It is about control. It's about setting the world up for a new world order. Just like Obama said, just like Cyril Ramaphosa said, and we know Cyril Ramaphosa is an Oppenheimer puppet. The day he took the shares because he was out of pocket from Anglo-American, it was tickets. He belonged to Harry Oppenheimer, and he will never get rid of that story. Never. Because that is his life. That is his life. So what should you do about this? Recognize the people that are fan club of this new world order, this one world government, people that want the current governance system to remain, the current constitution to remain as is. They are an enemy to our future freedom, because under the current system, our freedom was removed like this. And the Neil de Beers of the world, the John Steenhuisens of the world, will do it like this again. The people that are camera mad, that wants to put cameras, drones, and everything everywhere, that says that they will make you safe. We will make you safe. Not say to you, make yourself safe, put cameras on your boundary. No, we'll do it for you. We'll put a plane in the sky. I can hear the bloody thing right now. And we're going to fly it all over the place, monitoring everything non-stop. That's what we're going to do. We're going to put drones in the sky. We're going to put cameras on every robot that you can think of. Down the freeway. And we're going to watch your every move for your safety. Anyone that sells that we are surveilling you for your safety is your enemy. That's the next pointer. So anyone that protects the current government system, the current constitution as it's now currently written, then anyone that tells you that in the name of safety, we need to surveil you. So those are two very important points. Then anyone that tells you that there are small parties outside of Parliament, unrepresented, anyone that speaks of don't vote for a small party is your enemy. Because you can only be a small party if you were in government and you lost support and you become small in Parliament. That is a small party. A new party needs to rise up from nothing with no funding, not billions and billions of rands squandered over 30 years and achieving bugger all, nothing. Not the ANC, not the DA, not the EFF, although they haven't been around for that long, or any of the others in Parliament. The ACDP has been there since the beginning. COPE has been there since the beginning. The UDM, they've achieved nothing. Now, I'm not saying there's bad people in those parties, but if they believe in the current system and they believe in the current constitution and they want to protect it, They are the enemy to your freedom. They backed Cyril when he locked you down, a level 5 lockdown. And people will say, but why are you talking about lockdowns? It's long past. What is coming in the near future will make COVID-19 look like a Sunday school picnic. You will hear the world elites, King Charles, telling you this openly. You don't have to believe them. Maar jy sal jou gat sien. And it'll be much worse than you can imagine. People are going to drop like freaking flies. The one day they'll be there, the next day they'll be gone. It's not going to be some long protracted flippant testing nonsense. It's going to be very real. It's going to be very quick. And people are going to be so shocked, they're not going to know what to do. And all the signs are there and ready. And by 2030, the world will be ready for a complete financial collapse and a complete annihilation of the world's population. And there will be many testers up to that point. So we need to do what we are doing in this country by 2029. It needs to be finalized. 2026 is our big push. So I've given you 2 pointers so far. The third one, anyone that tells you that our finances are going to be fine, we're never going to lose normal fiat currency, that the banks and everything is going to be perfectly fine, they are lying to you. Fiat currency will go to zero. 100%. This has been planned a long time ago. Everything needs to be put into place for that to actually happen. But fiat currency will go to zero. The blockchain will be used to fully monitor, track, and trace and control you. So don't think that Bitcoin and Ethereum and anything else is going to save you. It will be your financial prison. But it will be the only way that you can trade unless you've created something alternative, which is what we're going to do in South Africa. We will create alternatives and mitigations for all of this. This is why we are doing Omega Advanced Training. And you can go to the Omega website, ohmega.org.za. Go and visit that, look at it, and apply for next year's training. We have 84 students this year that's going through the program. And this coming Saturday, we will be doing a module. So I'm really looking forward to that. People, this is seriously important. Money, fiat currency will go to zero. So if you have money in the bank, it'll cease to exist at some point. I am not a prophet. I can't tell you when that is going to happen, but it is planned. I know that it was planned for as early as 1995 already. But they couldn't get things into place by then to actually act on it. Just like my father told me about the pestilence in 2004. And then it only happened in 2019. 2020, it hit the world really hard. 16 years later, he didn't know when it was going to be. And he heard about it in 1984. 20 years before then. So it took decades for it to actually play out the way they wanted it. Their plans are never going to go exactly as they think. They also have arguments with each other about how to go about creating this new world order, one world government. And I want South Africa to stay out of that. Completely out of that. So what's the next thing you need to look out for? So there's 4 things now. Okay? The last 2 things is money collapse, fiat currency going to zero, and then cryptocurrency being your human financial prison. Worse than you can ever imagine. And that way they can give you your global income. Every month you'll get a certain amount of money. You will own nothing and you will be happy. That is the reality they want to create. And there's certain places where they are testing this. They are testing this. Just like they put smart electricity meters in people's homes, smart water meters. That is a start of things that people consume that they need for survival. Water, food, shelter, energy, and something to keep you sane. It's two of those things. Water and electricity on smart meters that can be cut off with one push of a button. Countrywide, doof. And the Constitution doesn't allow it. You should still get a certain amount of flow through an orifice, but these smart meters cut off your flow completely. So you are screwed. People end up bypassing the things, especially when they malfunction. This is our future, and you need to look at who is driving this. So, the political parties in parliament currently, ask yourself, who of them will remove your freedom in future again? And who of them believe that they must be your savior? They must be the people to protect your life. They must be the people to do everything for you. That they must become bigger. That they must have more control. Because they are good. The others are bad. That's the fifth point. Anyone that wants to be your savior, run far away from them. I'm never going to save you. I've admitted this many times. I'm not going to. I'm going to teach you how to save yourself. And you can listen to that, or you don't have to listen to that. It's up to you. I believe in freedom of choice. I believe in people having the right to be absolute dunces, stupid, do dumb things all the time. I do dumb things. You have a right to do that. And if a country has enough dumb citizens and other people attack them, they should die. That's what should happen. Okay. So if you want to survive in this world, you need to become stronger than whoever is going to threaten you. This is not a rocket science equation. It's a very simple one. So, the fifth point, very important. South Africa is a chosen destination by the world elite for apocalyptic times, or times when their countries, where they live, wherever they travel, becomes problematic. South Africa and some other places in the world, but South Africa is a chosen destination of the filthy rich in the world. Many of those destinations are in very hot, dry places of South Africa or Namibia or Botswana. Ask yourself why. Why do they build airfields? Why do they build underground bunkers? Why do we have a company doing very well with underground bunker building in South Africa at the moment? Are you even aware of this? But this is reality. Ask yourself why. South Africa is a key destination, and they don't need you around to help them. You are seen as a hindrance to these people. Okay. So keep that in mind. So the seventh and last thing that I want you to know is that you are not wanted as a human being. And I hope this really hits you between the eyes. That you are not wanted as a human being in this new high-tech world at all. You're not wanted. They're the company that makes Marmite. It's just said that they're laying off 7,000 workers, mostly office workers, because of AI. They're not necessary anymore. So now all of a sudden people will see how capitalism and people wanting lots of money becomes a problem when humanity is not mixed with that equation. No humanity. And you're going to start seeing it in these global corporations, which will become more powerful than governments. People will rise up against governments. And the last thought I want to leave with you is that the Bavarian Illuminati plan ensured that you are the people that would fund and implement their plan. In other words, you will do it for them. They will create the circumstances that will get you bamboozled and fooled because of your low IQ, low intellect, low level of thinking, low level of understanding, low level of comprehension. And I'm not saying it's the people in this live stream, but that is what they relied on. That that would get people to fund their own demise. That is a rule of the Bavarian Illuminati, that people, they would use their stupidity for them to fund, work their butts off for the destruction of their future generations and the loss of more and more freedom and liberty. Back in the day, people used to lay down their lives for freedom. Now people will hand over their freedom on a platter to stay alive. We have become a wimp generation. People that can't even change a car tire. Most girls can do a better job than some of the boys these days. And yes, males are different to females. That will always be the case for as long as humanity exists. But who knows what is being created in labs right now? You might really be frightened to see what scientists are doing and politicians are turning a blind eye. I really want to thank you for joining me. I will put those 7 points down and hopefully you will deeply consider them. And then the things I spoke about last night, not trying to convince people, not in trying to debate people, focusing on finding people that feel like us, that believe like us, even if we have different things that make us happy. Maybe even if we have different faiths, it doesn't matter. Those things that we hold dear, our freedom to make choices, our freedom of association, and very important, freedom of movement. Those things bring us together and can help us to work together to make sure that South Africa is a safe haven for South Africans. And so that we can, on our own terms, negotiate with people in other countries. And we need to do that fast. Our deadline is 2029. A lot of people will say, but we don't have enough time. Nonsense. There is no such thing. My grandfather used to say in the 70s, we are out of time. It's all over. Time will carry on. The end game is in 2063. Just go and look at the United Nations agendas. 2063 is the last one. Ask yourself why. What is that end game? What is going to go down? Thank you so much for supporting this channel. Thanks to those of you that are members. Those of you that are not members, do consider joining. On the two highest channels, the interactive members, we do a live stream at the end of every month, the last Wednesday. We do a long live stream on Zoom where we all meet together. We can see each other, talk to each other. And then on the highest level, there's a double O days meeting, 7 hours long, with 2 other meetings, very important ones, and 14 workshops that you can do. 10 level 1 workshops and then 4 level 2 workshops. Make the time and effort to go sign up for 1 month and do those workshops. It'll help you. And then next year, consider joining us for the Omega training. It is free. The Omega training is for free for everyone that's willing to do it. Those that don't want to do it is fine. It's fine. If you have the skills and ability that you believe will help you to survive, that's fine. With Omega training, we help people to work together in teams to navigate what will come our way. Thanks so much for joining. There's over 250 of you watching. Please like this live stream so that more people can watch it. Those of you that didn't watch the beginning, please go and watch from the start. This is important information I'm putting out there. I'm going to do more live streams like this. I need more people like you to see content like this, to consider joining our movement on the ground. In the description below this video, you will see the political side that's running in the 2024 elections. We need a voice for everything I've just spoken of in Parliament. And we can achieve that now. OMI is on the ballot and OMI is raising funds to create more awareness. That's what 2024 is about. 2026, it needs to go countrywide. And the preparation for that starts now. 2029, we need to be in charge of what is happening in this country The people of South Africa needs to be in charge. And never ever will a government rule over them again. I thank you for joining me. Have an awesome evening further. Bye.